Hey guys, this is James Okore here on Youth Avenue TV. I'm feeling grand because today is Bring Common Sense to America Day in the studio. And I'm here with Scott and Alyssa. Welcome, Scott. Scott is a leader at Young Life and owns Soccer Shots with his wife Alyssa. And we're glad to have you today. And just remember, anything you say here can be used against you in a court of law. All right?
Hey everyone, and this is Mary here. Welcome Alyssa to Youth Avenue TV. I'm personally so excited and so glad to have you here. Alyssa has been a long time friend of mine, and it's just awesome to have her with her husband here, the awesome Scott Koopy. Woo!
Yeah.
So, just a little bit of background on Alyssa. Well, she works at Young Life as a leader. And she studied psychology at Carnegie Mellon University, where she met Scott and used some of her psychology tricks on him, right? Oh. And from there, fell in love, and yeah, we're here today. And it's Carnegie love for you guys tonight.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. So your union is blessed with kids. I know you've been married in the year of our Lord 2008.
Yeah, almost exactly 5 years.
Okay.
Friday. It'll be 5 years. So.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah,
Congrats.
yeah no, thanks. Yeah,
Wow.
it's exciting.
Yeah, coffee on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have two beautiful children. Jalen's our oldest; he's 3.5 as a boy, and then Dinah, our little girl, a year and a few months.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, we've been blessed to have kids, and yeah, it's been crazy. Yeah, it's life-changing, but it's been the greatest thing. And we're always exhausted and tired, but it's so worth it because they're just sources of joy and light in our lives.
Yeah. And your oldest speaketh the language from the Far East, Japanese.
Yes. Well, I'm half Japanese, so
Oh, nice.
yes. And I didn't just grow up in America. I grew up in both America and Japan. So actually, the last 5 years, I was there for 5, and Scott was there for 4, and our kids were both born there. So yeah, they speak Japanese, and I speak with them as much as possible so that they can at least carry some of that heritage with them.
Wow. Wow. Maybe I can get some lessons from you sometime. Yeah. So, there's apparently sex ed in high school, but is sex ed really helping? Because there's a show, 16 and Pregnant. I think it should be 16 and studying at the local library if sex ed worked. But what's your take on that, Alyssa?
Yeah, well, I have a probably unique experience because my sex ed was while I was in Japan, you know, at my high school, it was an international high school, so it's like an American school in Japan, and then you have the rest of Japan where all the public schools don't have much sex ed at all. But I found that a lot of it is really culture, because I mean, you lived in Japan, and even if the kids got sex ed in our school and not in the others, generally no PDA, very few, unwanted teen pregnancies. And I think we're just so bombarded by sex in this environment here in the US. You can't just blame one thing like sex ed. You can't just say that that's going to help when we go to our homes and when we watch TV, when we see on billboards, magazines, just sex, and they keep pushing those limits more and more. That's not going to necessarily help. So I think definitely culture just has a big part of it, and the environment that we live in. And I'm not really sure how effective sex ed is really in the U.S. because, I mean, I wasn't here, but that's from my experience, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Scott, anything on that?
Yeah, I remember, like, everyone does it. Everyone gets educated on sex ed, and I think it's important to know about the dangers of, different things that you could get into that would be a negative. But yeah, culture, and I think for me, playing sports. When you're on a team, it's kind of like it's like a culture in and of itself where you get especially pressured into having sex before, like at a young age, and then that can really lead to negative things.
Yeah.
But sex ed, educating about certain things is important.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not just ignorant about everything.
Right.
Some kind of know-how or know what you're getting into. You know, helps you avoid the worst.
Right.
Right.
I think my position on that is like, you know, the solution kind of always goes back to the Word of God. Like, I know there's a scripture in 2 Timothy 2 verse 22 that says, flee all youthful lusts. You know, and then like David talked about it in the Psalms, like, your word have I hidden in my heart that I may not sin against you, you know? And so the word always has an answer. I mean, if anything else fails, I guess you can just take a cold shower.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that helps. A lot of college kids are addicted to ATM cards. Swiping American Express. Don't leave your house without it. I mean, they barely have a good attitude towards money. And what would you say, Scott, to a college kid, a 23-year-old, who has debt, maybe college debt, maybe from a bookie at Atlantic City?
Yeah, it seems to be a common thing to come out of college and just have loads of debt. And out of both of us, just to give you a little background, we got married right when I graduated, and I had over twice the debt that Alyssa had. So I had a lot of debt, and she married into it. So if you can avoid marrying into it, then do that. But
good tip.
Yeah, but I will say this: it's becoming kind of the norm. So dealing with a large amount of debt, I think is becoming a very important topic. So my advice, and what we've seen work for us is, it really comes down to having a good budget, a way to allocate your resources wisely. So you're not spending on things that you shouldn't be spending on or can't be spending on. You create a budget for all the necessary expenses and then see what you have left over. And then one of those things that you just have to pay off is that college debt. But when it becomes part of a budget that's kind of a healthy budget, it's not so much something that is like a weight that you just like feel the burden of constantly, but you're able to free yourself a little bit from that. And education is, I mean, it's so important, and it's becoming so necessary to become educated at a higher level, college or even an advanced degree. So it's not, so feeling you also shouldn't feel like you're the only one with debt. I mean, a lot of people have the debt, and they need to create a budget in order to pay that down over time. And then when you do pay it down, you could party and celebrate, because it's going to be huge.
Oh, feel a good moment there.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Scott, can I borrow 20? I need to buy a lotto ticket, and then I'll pay you back next week when I cash in on any of those.
Seriously? No, I don't.
Here's a 20. But wait, hold on. I want $60 back, okay? $60.
Okay. I had no idea I was sitting next to a loan
Since
shark.
Occupy Wall Street, banks are not lending small loans, okay? I want $60 back.
All right. You got it. So Scott, what do these words mean to you? Budweiser, Heineken, Bud Light, Mike's Hard Lemonade, beer pong.
It sounds like alcohol, beer, and Mike's.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, beer pong, very popular with teens, college. Kind of reminds me of college days. Yeah.
Brings back memories.
Yeah, I played on a soccer team in college, so
Uh-huh.
it seemed like it didn't make sense, but the athletes seemed to be the biggest drinkers. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Let's pray for our athletes in America.
Mm.
We need our athletes. Yeah. But beer is overrated barley juice. Gives you a big gut, slows down your IQ, and gives you a spring headache.
And you know, I don't mean to get any more gloomy, but like suicide is like the third leading cause of death in our American teens and even all over the world. And it's shocking, right?
Yeah.
It's like I don't know, I don't understand. But yet sometimes we're so unprepared when it comes time for us to deal with like a suicidal kid, you know? Like, Alyssa, what would you say about that?
Yeah, well, in Japan, again, my experience there is it's very sad because it's one of the first world countries that has a suicide rate like a third world country. Intense pressure. You hear about 11-year-olds committing suicide. It is very, very intense, and I've definitely had experience with that. One of my close friends committed suicide in high school, and just had some girls that really were contemplating it during my time with Young Life and in Japan. So I think especially in these situations, it means that they've decided that there is no other choice.
Yeah.
And suicide means that they feel the only choice left is death. And I think that always what helps is presenting the choices that they have. And of course, I always want them to know they have a choice to live, to have life, and to believe in God, and that will give them more hope and more choices that will lead to a full life. So of course that always brought, you know, a lot of these girls kind of out of their darkness, and you see it time and time again, but you always have to remember to give them that choice. Yeah.
Right. Right. So not just to take away from their choice, but to show them that there's a better choice.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, good one. That's a good tip. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And like I would say, like if you don't want to live your life anymore, like you were saying, like give them the options, give them the choices, like show them that Jesus actually wants to use their life, like for the better, you know, for the good of them. And like committing suicide is like wasting your life, you know, like just giving it all away and ending the road, and like that's it. And so like, you know, I would say that you give your life to Jesus and he will get the glory out of it, and like you'll find meaning, you'll find purpose, you'll find answers, you'll find solutions when you give your life to Jesus Christ, you know. And so, and then once you give your life to Jesus, it's like you want to live more, you just find yourself wanting to be alive, like you just love life. That's right. You know. That's right. So yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So if you're wondering what to do with your life and you've come to the end of your road, remember Jesus can make something great out of it.
Oh yeah.
He can, just like he did out of us, and he can with you too. Are you ready to play 20 questions?
I'm ready.
All right. So Scott, what was the last thing you were grounded for as a teenager?
Yeah, I had a habit of staying out too late, so I think probably the last thing I was grounded for was breaking curfew. So coming back late, yeah.
And how late was this?
It's probably like 3 or 4. Like my mom, she worries a lot, so she can't sleep unless she knows that you're, especially you know when you're driving, and yeah. So
I think you just described 80% of mothers in America.
yeah.
All right. Question number 2, Alyssa, have you ever been cow tipping?
No, but my parents have. Yes.
Sounds good. All right, and name something you do alone that you wouldn't do in front of others.
I talk in cartoon voices.
That's so cool.
Wow. Would you demonstrate for us?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that would be ironic, yeah.
Yeah. Just kidding.
Scott, do you fold or scrunch your toilet paper? There's absolutely no reason for that question. Who wrote this question?
I don't know. Anyways, let's get back to this. Question number 4, Alyssa. If you were a kitchen utensil, what would you be?
Chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Nice. Any particular reason?
Just because it's Asian, but it's used in America as well. So, yeah, kind of
Can
bicultural.
you chop food with chopsticks?
You can actually. You can cut food with chopsticks.
Oh, that's
Just
cool.
learn something. Oh, great. Scott, why do you say you're saved?
It's a good question. I say that I'm saved because my life was on a certain path, and the path that I was on, my life was very much centered around me, and everything that I did was for myself, and it led to just emptiness, and I just never felt like I was fully satisfied, but I was saved from that life and started a relationship with God. And then that really brought meaning into my life when I was living for God and His purpose rather than myself and my desires. And God's taken me on a different path. That's been an adventure and full of blessings. And I was saved from one path and brought on to another. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Awesome. All right. So question number 6. Alyssa, when I say Connecticut, you say
Daddy? Where my dad is from. Yeah, it's where we were married and where my grandmother, my American grandma, still lives.
Oh, wow. Well, let's say he wants to be New York so bad.
Well, I know Miss USA 2013 actually is from Connecticut.
Yeah.
So not too shabby.
Yeah. Cool. To both of you, you're married for 5 years? Oh, nice. So, Kim Kardashian divorced after 72 days. What would you have said to her on the 71st day of her marriage?
Well, it's an interesting question, and I think I'd have 2 things to say to her. I'd say, first off, Kim, you gotta watch out, because you might end up, if you don't fix this marriage, you're gonna end up with a Kanye baby. Number 2, I'd say, first off, it's hard to have a marriage work that's in the public spotlight, and that seems to be kind of what she's way in the public spotlight. But that any marriage, any relationship can be redeemed and can be a lasting relationship if you're willing to work at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of things that I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you add?
I don't know. I'd have a hard time being able to talk to her seriously. So, yeah, it's tough. I would say don't give up. I mean, people just give up too easily these days.
Yeah, just keep pressing on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I would say to her?
Okay.
You know, like, I would tell her, that's it! I can't keep up with the Kardashians anymore.
Wow. Oh.
So, question number 8. Alyssa, do you eat enough vegetables?
I hope so. Yeah, we've actually been eating green smoothies lately, so we're working on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
All right.
does that answer your question?
Pretty much. I'll take it.
Scott, if Hollywood was to make a movie about you,
Ooh.
who would you want to play your lead role and why?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's not many people I think would really nail it with physique, the acting, the physique, the hair, things like that. But I'd say Mark Wahlberg would probably be the closest.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah, probably him.
That works.
The closest.
The closest,
Yeah,
okay.
very close.
Watch out.
Ooh.
All right.
So, question number 10. Alyssa, we came to your house for dinner. What interesting meal would you prepare for us?
I would prepare taco rice because it's a good mix of tacos and rice, which is kind of Asian and I guess American in some way.
Like it.
Oh, wow.
Sounds yummy.
Yeah. Can we come tomorrow? Scott, which president is on the $5 bill?
$5 bill. I get coins and dollar and paper money confused sometimes, but I'm gonna
That's
have to
bad.
say,
That's
yeah.
bad.
Well, I know which one's which. If I had a coin and paper money, I'd know the difference. But the faces, I'm saying. But I would have to say Abraham Lincoln would be my guess. But I'm not fully confident. Is that true?
You are right.
You're right.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that brings you to the 20% in America that actually know that.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Well, it's been great having you guys on tonight.
Yes.
How do I put this
Awesome.
gently? We've come to the end, but not to the end of our wit.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Youth Avenue TV, for more awesome talk and stuff that affect young people all across America, all across the world. You got it.
And this is James and Mary saying,
Improvise, adapt, overcome. Keep calm, carry on. Cheerio.